Imagine a world where trees can be worth millions, cause feuds between neighbors, and even land you in jail. In this realm, trees are not just silent giants that provide shade and oxygen. They are the protagonists of intense legal dramas, the stakes of which can escalate into the millions and the consequences of which can be as severe as incarceration. Tree law is a unique branch of jurisprudence that governs disputes over trees, and it's far from being a trivial matter. It intertwines with property rights, environmental protection, and even personal safety. The complexity of tree law reflects the deep-rooted significance of trees in our lives and societies. Now, prepare to delve into 5 of the most intriguing stories from the world of tree law found on Reddit. Get ready for a journey into the world's most fascinating legal battles, all about trees. Our first story takes us to a quiet suburb where a single tree was worth a staggering $1 million. In the tranquil world of the suburbs, where lawns are manicured with the precision of a surgeon's scalpel, a tale of tree law unfolds. A Reddit user, let's call them Arboreal Avenger, lived next to a neighbor who had a penchant for power tools and a disregard for property lines. In the middle of a sunny afternoon, the neighbor, whom we'll refer to as Chainsaw Charlie, decided it was time to remove what he deemed an obstructive tree from the landscape. Now, this wasn't just any tree, this was a majestic, rare, and valuable specimen. Its roots had delved deep into the earth, its branches stretched wide to the sky, a testament to its decades of growth. Yet, in the blink of an eye, Chainsaw Charlie, with his trusty power tool, reduced it to a stump. Arboreal Avenger, shocked and outraged, decided to take action. They consulted an arborist who confirmed the tree's rarity and estimated its worth to be a whopping $1 million. Armed with this information, they turned to the world of tree law, suing Chainsaw Charlie for the untimely demise of their beloved tree. The case was arduous, the battle in the courtroom fierce. Chainsaw Charlie, who had thought of the tree as nothing more than an inconvenience, was now faced with the reality of its value. The court ruled in favor of Arboreal Avenger, awarding them $1 million in damages, a sum that left Chainsaw Charlie and the suburban community in a state of disbelief. And so a tale of tree law concluded, leaving behind a stump, $1 million void, and a newfound respect for the value of trees in the minds of the residents. The moral of the story? Never underestimate the value of a tree. Next, we delve into a bitter feud that divided a whole neighborhood, all because of a tree. This story originates from a Reddit user who, in a pursuit of greener surroundings, planted a glorious tree in their backyard. Little did they know, this seemingly innocent act would lead to a legal battle that would split their community in two. The tree in question, standing tall and magnificent, unfortunately blocked the scenic view of the neighboring house. The disgruntled neighbor, deprived of their picturesque landscape, took umbrage and insisted that the tree be removed immediately. The tree planter, however, felt they were within their rights to cultivate their property as they saw fit. As the disagreement escalated, so did the tension in the neighborhood. It wasn't long before this tree dispute was no longer just between two neighbors. The community was split, each side championing their cause. The right to a view versus the right to plant. The feud grew so intense that it eventually made its way to court. The court case was a spectacle, to say the least. Arguments were made, evidence was presented, and the neighborhood held its collective breath. The law, it seems, had to decide on an issue that was as much about human desires as it was about property rights. In an unexpected twist, the judge ruled in favor of the tree planter. The law, after all, protects a landowner's right to use their property as they wish, so long as it doesn't infringe on the rights of others. And while the loss of a view was unfortunate, it was not deemed an infringement of rights. This ruling sent ripples through the community. Some celebrated the victory of property rights, while others mourned the loss of their cherished view. But in the midst of the divide, one thing was clear. The law had spoken, and it had spoken for the tree. In the end, the law sided with the tree planter, proving that a tree's rightful place can be surprisingly powerful. Before we proceed to our next fascinating tree law story, take a moment to subscribe, follow, like, comment, and share our video. It's a small act that makes a big difference. By clicking that subscribe button, you're joining us on this captivating journey into the heart of the unusual world of tree law. And by giving us a thumbs up, you're helping to spread the word about our content. Don't forget to leave a comment as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts about these stories. Maybe you've had a tree law experience of your own, or perhaps you have a question or two. We're here to engage, discuss, and learn together. And last but not least, share our video with friends and family. Let's bring more people into this intriguing conversation. Now let's dive back into the enthralling world of tree law. Our next tale is a cautionary one, about a man who found himself behind bars because of a tree. In this tale of caution from the annals of Reddit's Tree Law Chronicles, we meet a man who underestimated the legal power of a tree. The protagonist of our story, let's call him Joe, was a homeowner who had a towering tree on his property. This was not an ordinary tree, it was a protected species. And cutting it down without the necessary permissions was a big no-no. But Joe, in his wisdom, decided that he didn't like the tree. Perhaps it was blocking his view, or maybe it was just a nuisance during leaf fall season. The Reddit post didn't specify. Whatever the reason, Joe took matters into his own hands and decided to cut the tree down. He did so without seeking any permissions, completely disregarding the tree's protected status. Now, you might think, it's just a tree, what's the worst that could happen? Well, Joe found out soon enough. A neighbor, aware of the tree's protected status, reported Joe's actions to the authorities. The wheels of justice began to turn, and before he knew it, Joe was facing serious legal repercussions. You see, protected trees are protected for a reason. They may be rare, environmentally significant, or historical. In Joe's case, the tree was a protected species, and its unauthorized removal constituted a serious offense. The court didn't take kindly to Joe's blatant disregard for the law. He was found guilty and sentenced to jail time, a punishment that far outweighed the inconvenience of having a tree on his property. So what can we learn from Joe's misadventure? It's simple: respect tree laws. They may seem trivial, but, as Joe found out, they're in place for a reason, and breaking them can have severe consequences. A stark reminder that breaking tree laws can have serious consequences. Our final story involves a tree that sued a city, and won. Now, you might be wondering, how in the world can a tree file a lawsuit? Well, buckle up, because this tale is as intriguing as it is unusual. In a certain bustling city there stood a majestic tree. This wasn't just any tree, but a historic one. Having been around for over 200 years, it had silently witnessed the city's evolution from a sleepy town to a sprawling metropolis. But like many stories involving urban development, this one took a tragic turn. The city authorities, in their quest for progress, decided to cut down the tree to make way for a new road. Despite protests from locals and environmentalists, the city went ahead with its plans. The old tree, a silent sentinel for centuries, was reduced to a stump within a few hours. Now here's where the story takes a twist. A group of local activists decided to fight back. They filed a lawsuit against the city, not on their behalf but on behalf of the tree itself. They argued that the tree, being a significant part of the city's history and ecology, had a right to exist. The case sparked a nationwide debate on the rights of nature, and the courtrooms became a battleground for environmental justice. After a series of hearings, the court delivered a landmark verdict. It ruled in favor of the tree, declaring that the city had acted unlawfully in cutting it down. The city was ordered to pay for damages which would be used for the planting and care of new trees, and for the creation of a park in the memory of the historic tree that had fallen. And so we learn that even trees can have their day in court. This case serves as a powerful reminder that progress need not come at the expense of our natural heritage. It underscores the importance of respecting and preserving nature, even in the face of relentless urbanization. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the intriguing world of tree law.